everyone, welcome to another session of Wine Appreciation of Journeys and Wines. And today we are talking glassware. Now I have searched high and low and I've got a pretty decent example of pretty much every glass out there in the market, or a representative of every single one of those glasses that you will find. And I'm going to take it right from the top. We're going to start with bubbly glasses. Now it is a very interesting thing, I suppose, that the power of the brand of champagne or bubbly or sparkling wine or whatever it is called wherever you come from, that it literally has 3 different types of glasses dedicated to its enjoyment. Very different. White wine, red wine both have 2 predominant glasses, but yeah, bubbles 3, and all 3 look incredibly different, and all 3 have a different story. You might find it strange because I got 4 glasses in front of me, so let me dispense with this one right here. This and this are exactly the same. This is a champagne flute, and this is a stemless champagne flute. Now, stemless glasses are very trendy, very in vogue, very sexy right now. Personal opinion, more than anything else, functionality. Now, our body temperature, 36 degrees Celsius, holding a glass of wine, we're going to affect the temperature of the wine. We're going to change the temperature, we're going to make the glass warmer, we're going to make the wine warmer. And that is actually why they have stems, so that you can hold the wine by the stem and not affect its temperature, which is negated completely by these stemless glasses. So form and function over aesthetics, I don't really think there's a place for them. But don't quote me, I know they're very trendy and it's what lots of people do. So yeah, and also I guess they are quite versatile in that you can use them for different things. But yes, for me, not a fan. So just going to put that out the way over there. And actually, while I'm at it, let me dispense with the others. These are also stemless examples. This is a stemless example of a Bordeaux glass, which is this one. So you see they've got pretty much the exact same shape without the stem. And this is a stemless example of a Burgundy glass. Again, same thing, same shape, but yeah, no stem. So yes, dispense with. But yes, if you're a fan, despite my strong opinions, see beyond, go for it. And yeah, stemless glasses. All right, bubbles. So there are 3 examples of bubbly glasses. You have the champagne flute, which is this one over here, the champagne tulip, which is this one over here, and the champagne coupe or champagne saucer, which is bubbly fanatics, or those that are passionate about it, who all have strong opinions for each one and the other. This is the most popular and the most common type of champagne glass. If you Google toasts with champagne or any of those things, if you look at any famous event where people are toasting, this is the glass they're generally using. It's world famous and it's quite an elegant glass. It's long, it's thin, it's slender, and all those good things. The problem is though, this is probably the least effective champagne glass out there because it doesn't allow the bubble to originate and explode in its natural in its natural way. Because it's so thin, it basically funnels the bubble, and so what will then happen is that the bubble has nowhere else to go but to this thin top, and what then happens is that it just becomes this foamy mess, and so you'll generally have quite a foamy, what's technically called a creamy mousse, which goes layman's term, quite a bit of foam at the top of a glass like this. Now that gets very messy when you're pouring, and also when you're drinking it, it feels rather harsh because the bubbles are literally exploding in this narrow space. Then you have the coupe. So the coupe is traditionally what champagne was served in long before this came about. This has got tradition, it's got history. In fact, legend has it, a little bit of a peak, but legend has it was designed in the shape of Marie Antoinette's breast. Go figure. That's the legend. I don't know how true it is or if there's any truth to it at all, but that is generally one of the more famous origins of the story of a wine glass. And this is a very natural product. It's naturally the most successful or the most proper way to drink bubbles because it's such a wide top. The bubble starts at the bottom and explodes naturally. It's almost like a firework. It starts at the bottom and explodes at the top. And that's generally the way to explode. You will not get a foamy mousse here because it's going to spread around that way. And then when you drink it, you're going to get a nice expression of the bubble and not a very harsh one like you would get from this one. So this is traditionally the way it's at. But gone out of fashion, maybe, I don't know why, but anyway, not commonly used. A lot of people would have never seen this even before. And then you get the tulip. Now the tulip is probably the most, it's the sort of, bang, it's right in the middle. So it's the middle ground between these glasses, and it serves both purposes well in that it looks like a very elegant glass. It's got the same long stem and long top. just like the flute does, but it also got a very wide middle, which is similar to this. So generally, if you're going to pour it, I would suggest you pour it here to about this level, which will give you the same effect as that, and allow the bubble to express itself and get to its full explosion, and then you still have the elegance of the long tip. This is becoming more and more popular. A lot of people swear by it. This is probably the most modern and most elegant in meeting of both worlds, but both functional and aesthetically pleasing. So if you are a restaurateur or someone who's looking to impress someone and you want to have a nice collection of glasses to serve your bubble in, I strongly recommend the Tulip. If you're an old school person who wants to do it right, I'd recommend the Saucer. And if you just want to look good for the gram, I would recommend the Flute. Sparkling wine, right. Now, white wine glasses. Now, the white wine glass is a bit more versatile because you get two very distinct styles of white wine. You get the more aromatic ones, which is your kind of Sauvignon Blancs, Viogniers, wines that have a lot of flavor, a lot of things that you pick up on the nose. And the ideal glass for those is this one. It's very similar in shape to the Champagne Tulip, in that it's got a wide base and then it's got a long little funnel. And that funnel works very well because what happens is you get those really strong aromatics being funneled straight to your nose. And you can smell, literally this is fact, you can smell up to 900 different aromas. You can only taste 6 things. And so the whole drinking experience is influenced. And if ever you have a blocked nose, or in these terrible times of COVID, if you've lost your sense of smell, you will realize the importance of being able to smell. So this glass enhances that because as you drink it and puts it in there, this thing almost goes right over your nose, and you're able to pick up a lot of the different aromas. And just even as an experiment, if you leave me, try drinking an aromatic wine like Sauvignon Blanc out of a wide glass and a thin glass like this, and you'll see there's a very, very big difference. So aside from that, because it's got such a thin lip, it funnels the wine to go right down your throat, which is great because often those wines have very high acidity, and so you don't really want it going around to your cheeks and stuff because it will dry your mouth and dry the saliva and make it a little bit less of a pleasant experience. Which is something we covered in the wine tasting exercise when we talked about acidity. So this thing funnels the wine right down your throat, doesn't give the acidity the chance to really come out and dominate, and then really gives the aromatics the best opportunity they have to express themselves. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, you have more fruity wines or more textural and more flavorful wines like Chardonnay, for example, which don't have the big aromatics like a Sauvignon Blanc or a Viognier would. Chardonnay, you're going to taste more than you're going to smell, and this is the ideal glass for it. So it's got a very, very wide base, and this is a very, very wide glass. And the reason for this is that this wide rim means that the wine will now go to the sides of your palate, where you pick up a few more different flavors than you would if it goes right down the middle. And because of that, you're able to taste a few more different things, and allows for a little bit more nuance and that to come about. So this one, the smell is not as important, hence you've got a very wide rim over here, so the smell goes right on the sides. And then you still pick up beautiful amount of flavors and aromatics which come out from there. So this is more for your white wines, which are very flavorful and not as expressively aromatic. So that example is Chardonnay, and it's called a Burgundy glass. And then you have the very traditional Bordeaux style glass, which is the long, thin one. I suppose a bit similar in shape to this one, except it's got a much wider base in the middle. Generally, they're quite big, and this is what you want to serve your Bordeaux style wines, your Cabernets, and that kind of thing. Wines which have lots of structure, lots of aromatic, and this is really important that they have these. They're both wide at the top and wide in the middle, which is allowing as much oxygen as possible to get into the glass, to allow the wine to breathe as much as possible in the glass. And so for your structured red wines, that's great because it gives it a chance to get as much of the micro-oxidation as possible, which will allow the wine to express itself better. And then from a flavor perspective, much like this one, it will go right down the sides of your mouth as well. Hence, you'll pick up a lot more of those more nuanced flavors that you'll get from that. A little bit narrower, so you will be able to pick up some of the more aromatic parts of those structured red wines. But this one, Burgundy glass, will also be possible to use Burgundy glass for some red wines, more your lighter and aromatic red wines. So it almost has the opposite effect on white wines than it does on red wines. So in your aromatic whites, you use this. In your more aromatic reds, and you're thinking like Pinot Noirs and the lighter style wines, which have a lovely, lovely bouquet on their noses, this is the Burgundy glass. And it serves the same function as this one, in that it's got a narrower top than that, so it'll funnel those smells over to you, and then it'll try and hit the palate from the same angles to get a much broader feel as it enters your mouth. It goes around the sides. And again, a similar experiment you can conduct. Get a wine like a Pinot Noir that's quite aromatic and expressive, and try it in both glasses and see the difference, and then find a more structured wine like Cabernet Sauvignon and try it in both of these glasses again, and then see see the differences that come out between those. And that about covers it. There are a few more different types. There are much more specialized glasses. There are companies coming out like Regal, like Zalto, who make very, very specific glasses out of crystal, very thin, very light, and are made, again, to enhance the experience more than anything else. The way they advertise is a more seamless experience between what's in the glass and what you're drinking. They cost a little bit more money, but you're very keen about your wines. There's something worth investing in, because I got to tell you, drinking out of a glass like that is quite incredible. This, for example, is an example of a Regal Burgundy glass. You can't really tell because it's a video, but it's incredibly light. It's easy as I can pick it up. It's incredibly light and it's extremely elegant, and you are able to pick up a bit more nuance. But if nothing else, it does feel very nice drinking a nice bottle of wine out of something like that. Yeah, but like I said, glassware is a very broad topic. This covers the basics of everything that you'll find. You can drill down and narrow on to more specific things like varietal specific glassware, etc., etc. But that's a little bit more of an advanced level, and if you really have an interest in something you can pursue, I'd strongly recommend doing the Regal classes. Regal do some very interesting exercises on different wine varietals and the different glassware that works for them. But for right now, this is probably enough. Bubbles, white and red, red and red.